Hey, Teddy K here for Best Buy Plugin, and in this video we were flying the Bebop 2 FPV. This is kind of the latest drone from Parrot, latest quadcopter, but it's essentially taking the same drone but adding other peripherals to it to make it fly just a little differently. That difference isn't so much in the mechanics of the drone because, as you can see, or maybe you can't because you can't see underneath, it is the same. From top to bottom, inside out, this is the same Bebop 2 that Parrot launched previously. So you're not getting anything different as far as the actual drone itself goes. The differences come from both software and from the peripherals. Even the camera is exactly the same. And it's the same camera that was used in the Parrot Disco drone as well, by the way. So the battery is the same size and capacity at 2700 milliamps as it was before. So flying time is about 20 to 25 minutes, give or take. It really depends on what you're doing while you're flying. So really, as I mentioned, it comes down to peripherals. So here's the Sky Controller 2. This is completely different from the Sky Controller 1. A lot smaller, easier to carry, easier to transfer. I've got the smartphone / tablet holder on it there at the same time. And the controls are seamless. Everything is nice. It's like a video game gamepad. So very well done, Parrot. We also have the FPV headset, or the cockpit glasses, as Parrot calls them. So I'm just showing you here how the phone connects. So I have a Galaxy S7 Edge in there. A number of different phones work with this unit. Once you get it working, the idea is that you can fly the Bebop 2 in first-person view so that you see what the drone's camera is seeing. It's a lot like kind of sitting in a cockpit. It's a totally different view. It's very, very interesting and very different from the way you would have flown a quadcopter otherwise. So the drone itself flies much like it has before, and that comes with both pros and cons. This is just a quick look at some of the video. I'm going to show some other footage as well, and also what could happen when you crash it. Just saying. And that's the Bebop 2 FPV. So what we're talking about here is the same drone, basically, that came out months ago, albeit with different peripherals. So what does that mean? Does that mean it's a different drone? Actually, it's not. This is the peripherals will actually work with the previous, or should I say the same, Bebop 2, because they are the same drone. So it'll work the same. The wireless communications work the same way. So the Wi-Fi, the way the Wi-Fi Direct works to communicate with the drone to control it, works the same way. Now, of course, because you have a controller that is way smaller than the first Sky Controller, considerably smaller. I mean, it's like a video game gamepad. It's very easy to transport, very easy to hold, very easy to control, and the battery life's better too. So if you have the Bebop 2 already, what do? I would recommend you just if you want to fly it and you want to really get the most of it, get the peripherals separately. You can do that, by the way. If you're on the Bebop 1 and you're considering going to the Bebop 2, then this would be the natural progression for you to go to, because obviously this is the best way to fly it. And not just for the controller, but also because you also have the FPV, right? I mean, that's very cool in of itself. Now, all that packaged together, the Bebop 2 doesn't necessarily fly any differently than it did before. I mean, the joystick controls, everything's more or less the same. The app is different, so some of the features, the way that you adjust settings and things like that in the app are definitely better than they were before. But generally speaking, the type of flying is the same. The Bebop 2 basically does the same thing that it did before. There's not a major difference. So if you already have the drone and you're thinking that this is going to fly considerably better than that, no, not really. Image quality does get a bit of a boost, but that would apply to the original Bebop 2 anyway, because of the software optimization that went into that. So you would still get better image quality. The lens, the image sensor, everything is the same inside here. So there's no difference as far as the internal components. The battery life is also the same. So you're not flying this for any longer than you did before. So really what we're talking about here is an iterative upgrade as it relates to the peripherals that come with the drone as opposed to the drone itself. So that's why to repeat myself, is if you already have a Bebop 2, get the peripherals separately if you want to go that extra mile, so to speak. But you know, if you want to stick to the Sky Controller 1, you can do that too. So that's about it. I mean, the thing flies well, and flying it in FPV in particular I thought was really cool because it's the first time that I've used a quadcopter. Yeah, actually it is. It's the first time I've used a quadcopter where I was flying it with an FPV, where I felt like I was in some kind of a cockpit controlling and seeing where the drone was going. So that was pretty cool. And that might be reason enough if you're into that sort of thing. It works with a number of different phones. I mean, you know, Parrot's list actually is minimal, to be honest with you. It's I think it's far more extensive than that, considering that the case that the phone goes into can support phones from 4.7-inch screens for the iPhone 6s and iPhone 6, 6s, and 7, up to 5.5-inch screens, which is, I mean, there's a number of phones that fall into that gamut. And that's the Bebop 2 FPV. For Best Buy Plugin, I'm Teddy K. Thanks for watching.